Hey there everybody, it's Revita here from inkbutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me today for another card making video. I'm going to feature the Simply Leaves stamp set today. So this is an online exclusive stamp set. Also comes with a punch, which is also really cool, which will cut out the larger leaf images on there. Smaller ones I'm afraid you'll have to fussy cut, but it's a really nice set. I'm a real sucker for leaves anyway. I love it. So done a few ideas with this one, but we're going to do a simple background. It's pretty much as close to a one layer card as I get, really. Just something really super simple. So I've used traditional shades of green to create this one. This is Granny Apple Green, Garden Green and Shaded Spruce that I've used here. Just sort of a kind of an ombre kind of look, but different shades of green. But we're going to spice it up. We're going to do something completely different in terms of the colourway. I'm going to use the same stamps and the same sort of layout, but we're going to use completely different colours. Okay, and we're going to use the Stampin' Positioner. Okay, so the this comes with a larger plate. Let me just grab that. Large plate. So if you want to do your large background stamps on that, and it sort of springs, but you also get this smaller plate which hooks onto these little notches at the top, or pegs, and you can then do repeat stamping on different points in your card. So I've already mounted it up and I've already got my card layer. I'm going to turn it around this way because I think it's going to be easier. And I'm turning it this way because I'm left-handed. You might prefer to have it this way if you're right-handed. You do you. Work out what's going to be best for you. But this is a card layer, 4 by 5 3/4, and I've just marked the centre to get going, and I've lined it up in the centre here. Okay, just so we've got room up and down, and we should have room up and down. We'll have to move the stamp, but I've already positioned it for that central position. So X marks the spot, so once you've positioned it, you can erase that line, or you can leave it and do it after. I'm going to go ahead and rub it out now, I think, or mostly rub it out. If you're using darker inks, you won't see it anyway. Okay, so I already know where my centre position is going to be, and I can hook it onto these little pegs, and we can press down with that ink. So for colours then, let me just make sure I'm in the shot. Yeah. Colour wise, we're going to go with the subtles, and I've already planned out the colours. There's 10 in a colour family, so one of them had to be left behind, and I'm leaving behind soft seafoam, and using the other 9 colours in the set. And we're going to go in rainbow order. So because we're starting in the middle my middle 3 colours are going to be these 3: Lost Lagoon, Pool Party and Balmy Blue. And I'm going to sort of pop them out like that, so I sort of know where I'm going. So if we're going to start in the centre, we're going to start with Pool Party, and I'm going to just pop that over here, and we're going to lift that up, and hopefully you can see I'm just sort of pressing that into the ink just like you would do normally. We're going to hook it back on. Okay, I've re-inked this ink pad so it's nice and dark. Pop that to one side, and then you can just press down on there, lift up, and it's done. Okay, I've also got a stamp chamois, so we're just going to wipe that off in between applications. So there's the central one. We can now move this peg up to these 2 pegs, and we can do the next colour, which will be Lost Lagoon. So again, I'm just going to press that into the ink. When it's in the middle, it's dead easy. Sometimes you run out of room, just be warned. So this one isn't as juicy an ink pad, but that's fine. We're just going to go with it. Some of them are going to be deeper than others, and I'm fine with that. So again, we're going to just wipe that off on the chamois, and then we'll come down to this one and we'll use Balmy Blue. So a couple of reasons for sticking with the colour family, in that you can actually buy the all the classic ink pad families have 10 ink pads. Apart from the in colours, they have sets of 5, and there's 2 of them, so but they come as bundles. So if you wanted to get all 10 colours, you can buy them all together and save a little bit of money. Save 10% on bundles, whether that's ink bundles, punch bundles, die bundles, whatever it is. So that's really cool, and obviously all the links are going to be in the description to what I've used today, if you fancy taking a look at what else is available. So we will reposition our magnets, and I'm going to do this top row next. So obviously we need to reposition our stamp. Okay, so I'm going to just eyeball this. It's going to be fine. It's just going to peek off the edge. It overlaps with that one a smidge. I didn't think about the overlap and whether I'll get mud, but let's go with it. You can think a bit more about that if you want to. I'm going to just go there. We'll put our little platform back on, and I'm going to move these magnets over here because that's got no ink on. Even when you've seasoned them a little bit, they're still quite sticky, tacky, if you like, when they're not inked up. So that's going to try and lift the paper. So I'm just going to encourage that to let go. It will go, it'll just release it slowly. There we go. And we'll put those back down there, out the way. Right, so our top row is going to be Calypso Coral, Petal Pink and Lemon Lolly. So Petal Pink in the middle. So we'll just take that to the ink pad. Okay, try and avoid getting it onto the little feet. Okay, and we'll press that one in place. There we go. So we'll just keep wiping it off on the chamois each time. I've got Calypso Coral. There we go. So again, this one's not that juicy an ink pad, but just apply it a couple of times like you would, but lots of light tapping, but just sort of pressing it in. Okay, it's probably a good job that's a little bit lighter actually, because it's quite a powerful colour. It's kind of an always feel like Calypso Coral and Lost Lagoon are a little bit of an odd couple of colours in the subtles, because they are actually quite dark. Then we've got Lemon Lolly. So obviously this is very light, so you don't want to be contaminating that with any of the other colours with it being so light. So make sure your stamp's nice and clean, or you can you know, plan what you're going to do and make sure you do your light colours first, and then you can avoid any unwanted carryover. Okay, great. So that's that row. And now our bottom row, they're all going to fall over, hang on, is going to be Highland Heather, Fresh Freesia and Bubble Bath. We need to reposition the stamp. So we want that down here, and I'm just looking at where it overlaps here and trying to get it roughly lined up. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm going to go with that. Put my little doodah back on. Obviously you want it nice and clean when you do this positioning thing, because it might not be in the right place from the get-go. Okay, let's let go. Leave the magnets. Fresh freesia is going to be where we start. I did re-ink this one as well. I re-inked a few ink pads actually. Considering some of these colours now, I don't know when the case is all changed, because these are all in new cases, so they aren't as old as me in terms of my being a demo, but they're a good few years old, and some of these are it's the first time I've re-inked them. I probably should have done them sooner, to be fair, but again, you can buy those in a bundle. Highland Heather then is going to be our next one that we'll put on. So again, quite a nice deep colour. I think I re-inked this one as well. So there's a few. Maybe I just use a lot of the subtles. I don't know. I do quite like the subtles actually. And they play very nice together as a colour family, as you can see. I think this looks really pretty. I like doing alternative rainbows with these. They blend together nicely as well. You can obviously bridge some of the colours. Yellow is always your anchor point, because that will make your green between and your orange. So you can do a 3-colour rainbow very easily with this colour family as well. And some people like their pink at the beginning and not at the end. You know, this is just merely a design idea, so you guys can decide how you want to do yours. Okay, it's cute and it's so simple. And if you just wanted to do something really monochromatic, like with the green card, it's even easier because you're not swapping the ink all the time, or you just do them all the same colour. You could pop them on an angle as well. So there's stuff you can do with this simple idea. In fact, I might do another one with a similar idea, just so that you can see on another video. Right, this will obviously just be stuck onto a plain white card base, because we're keeping it super simple today. And I've already cut out, this doesn't have to be a die cut, this could simply be a nice stamped, what do you call it, not stamped, just a strip of paper, cardstock, whatever, and in the colour that you choose. So I just want to make it white, and I'm not adding a whole heap of other embellishments or anything like that either. So that's just the black ink. Okay, let that dry for a sec, and we'll adhere this to our card base with some seal. So again, this is my glue of choice. There are lots of glue options, so there's something for everybody. So nice and bright colour combination. Okay, we'll make sure that top crease is nice and well burnished. This is what will help your card stand up. I like the top folding cards. They're easier to photograph, but I do like them because it's different to what you would get in a normal store. But that nice sharp crease is what makes it stand up. Okay, so there we go. They're probably a bit on the wonky side and then a bit off, floated off to one side, but do you know what? It is handmade. It is fine. So this guy also needs to go on with some seal. just want a scrap piece of paper. And we will put that on. And again, I don't want to cover too much of my design, but I want it centered on a leaf, which is why I ended up there. But I suppose you could put it anywhere you like on here. Down there might be nice, just to mix it up a little bit. But you know, if you don't think that's the best place for it, then you put it wherever you want. But you've got loads of options. You can come in from this side if you want. So just sticking that down flat, and I'm going to use my scissors. Oops. These are the original paper snips. I haven't tried the new ones. Apparently they're really good. But because those are fine, I haven't brought any more. So again, just making sure that's nice and burnished. And I'm just going to get a little black pen. This is just an acrylic marker. It's just a cheap thing. I'm going to pick out this black by just putting these little trios of dots around the place. A bit too lined up, but yeah. Just sort of adding a bit of interest to the background. Don't have to do that if you don't want to. Okay, this one I actually used a bit of white gel pen here and there, but it's probably a bit harder to see. But that is my super simple leaf feature. Leaf. That is a card. Using Simply Leaves. Absolutely love it. And there's 3 different leaves you could use, so I just use the traditional leaf, but there's this lovely spotty one, and I like this one as well. Okay, there are the smaller ones, so you'd probably be able to fit more. You'd probably get 5 across the middle. It kind of depends on how much you. I reckon you could, you know, I reckon you could get 5 across the middle of the little tiny one if you wanted to do that. Again, watch this space, you may see that coming to your screens. Okay, that's it from me, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this idea. Loads more on my blog. Check out the online store, all the links will be in the description. Okay, thanks ever so much for joining me. Stay safe, take care, see you soon, bye.